Well, happy Friday, church family. Realize you may be watching this after Friday, but it's Friday afternoon, and it's an understatement, but it's been quite the week. And we want to just leave you another video today of some truth that hopefully will encourage you, help renew your mind, and honor Jesus along the way. Behind me is a bulletin board full of pictures. Now almost 11 years ago when I started on staff, I wanted a bulletin board in my office just for pictures of people. Now largely this is students from youth group and years gone by and family and all types of different pictures. And I just continue to put new pictures on top of old pictures. And so literally this bulletin board is a layer of pictures. But for me, it's a reminder as pastor and shepherd what matters most. And that's the glory of God in leading people. And of all the things that we have in this difficult time, what matters most is first our relationship with Jesus and our relationship with one another. I firmly believe this. I'm praying this way, that God would make us stronger followers of Christ through these difficulties, that God would make us a stronger, more unified church through these difficulties. I'm confident that he can do that. I've been in Luke chapter 7 and 8 for really about a week and a half in my devotions. I just want to quickly remind you of some truths. When you get to Luke chapter 7 and chapter 8, the word that ought to center in our mind is faith. And we meet a variety of people throughout Jesus' ministry in these two chapters. But nearly every person that we meet needs Jesus. And whether they realize it or not, they are needy people who needs Jesus. Probably many of you are familiar in Luke chapter 8 and Jesus and the disciples. And I was sharing this with our youth group the other night on our Instagram live chat. But here the disciples and Jesus, they're out on the lake. And let me read this for you. It says this: "And as they were sailing, he fell asleep," and that's Jesus. "And a fierce windstorm came down on the lake, and they were being swamped and were in danger. They came and woke him up, saying, 'Master, Master, we're going to die.' And then he got up and he rebuked the wind and the raging waves, so they ceased, and there was a calm." And then I love what Jesus says here. He says, "Where's your faith?" And I think that's an amazing question for us, even as we come to the end of the week, that we would just say, where is our faith? Where are our thoughts? And may they be upon Jesus. May they be upon the Lord, the Creator, the one who controls the winds and the waves. And may we find peace through the Word of God. Again, as I go through Luke chapter 7 and 8, so many people, they needed Jesus. And that's who we are. We are needy people. And we need Jesus. I love even getting to the demon-possessed man. And though he didn't know he needed Jesus, Jesus is exactly what he needed, and Jesus transformed his life. And it says here at the end that he went on the way proclaiming throughout the town how much Jesus had done for him. And then you get to the end of the chapter, and it's Jairus and his daughter who is dying. And then the woman that, while Jesus on the way to Jairus' house, reached out to him. And all of these people that have needs, and Jesus met their needs. What an amazing truth. Every morning this week, my family, we've started the day off singing a song together. And it's where I get to have special music, by the way. Jesus, Strong and Kind. You may have heard the song. It's relatively new. I know my wife posted on our Facebook page. But I love what it says about who Jesus is, and that he invites us to come to him when we are doubting, when we are fearful, when we are needy. And I love the phrase that's in the song. And it says, "For the Lord, he is good and he is faithful." And that's our prayer for us. God's got us. He does. And we need one another. And we're praying that God would bring much fruit through this difficulty. I want you to know we love you, and we're praying much for you.